Welcome to a special episode of the Ask a Cycling Coach podcast presented by TrainerRoad, the only podcast dedicated to making you a faster cyclist. Today, we are going to be talking to TrainerRoad athletes, regular folks like you and I who have used TrainerRoad to qualify for IRONMAN World Championships in Hawaii this weekend. What we want to do here with this episode is find consensus. We're going to ask them the same questions, and we're going to find out where athletes are doing the same thing and then where they're doing something different. And hopefully, if one athlete is doing something different, you might relate to that athlete and you can get a learning. Or if everybody's doing something that's the same, maybe you can start doing that as well, as that could give you a tip on how to improve your performance. So without further ado, and cyclists, don't tune out. This is where you can get massive learnings from these athletes as well. Enjoy this special short episode of the Ask a Cycling Coach podcast.
Hi, my name is Ray Brinkus.
Hi, I'm Pat Schuster.
Hi, everybody. My name is Diane Hansel.
My name is Liz Mahoney.
I'm Matt Greer.
I use TrainerRoad.
And I use TrainerRoad.
And I use TrainerRoad.
And I use TrainerRoad.
And I use TrainerRoad to qualify for Ironman World Championships.
What age group are you racing?
I'm racing age group 45 to 49.
I'm in the 50 to 54 age group. I just turned 50, so it's a new age group.
50 to 55.
I am racing the women's 50 to 54 age group.
I'm in 35 to 39. Yeah, 2 months and I roll up. But this year it's still 35 to 39.
Is this your first time going to Kona? If it isn't, what learnings are you planning to apply this time?
Yes, this is my first time racing Ironman Kona here.
No, it's number 11. It's not like other races. It's a stronger field, obviously, because for the most part, most people that qualify to get there. So we're all people who won age groups. And you just got to not get too wrapped up in that competitiveness that happens early on when you're fresh on the bike and fresh on the run, so to speak. And just kind of stick to my plan and race my race, not everyone else's race.
First time in Kona.
This is my first time in Kona. I qualified in 2021 after trying for about 10 years. So I'm psyched to be here.
This is my first time in Kona.
What are your current PRs for swim, bike, and run splits, as well as your overall finish time in the full distance?
So my best swim has been about a 1:05, 1 hour, 5 minutes. My best bike split on an Ironman was 4:58. And then my best marathon was a 3:43. And my best time that I did was Ironman Boulder, where I went 10:07.
Currently, still working on the swim. It's always been a nemesis of mine. So it's in the 105 to 110 range, depending. Bike, I can usually 440 to 445, maybe 450, depending on the wind out here. And then run, I've been doing, I want to say around 320 for the run. So I think I've been finishing around 930-ish, 920, 930.
For swim, it's around an hour and 5 minutes. Bike, I think my best one was in Boulder. That was 5:25. And for run, 3:42. And overall, my best was 11:01.
My PR in the swim is about 1 hour, 3 minutes. My PR in the bike is around 6.5 hours. And though I did have a PR in an Ironman distance, but it was one race each day. So you swam on Friday, biked on Saturday, ran on Sunday. So that was actually my bike PR, but not in a real Ironman race. And I got under 6 hours on that, but the run was brutal the next day. And then my run PR is just over 4 hours for an Ironman race. I haven't put together a good marathon yet after 112 miles on the bike. I think my fastest cumulative time is just over 12 hours. My goal, if I had a goal somewhere sometime, is to break that 12-hour barrier. Even 11:59 would be awesome, but I don't think I've quite done that. So come close, but not broken the 12-hour mark.
How did you use TrainerRoad to prepare for Ironman?
So last year in the fall, I went through just some sweet spot base kind of high volume in the fall. And then over the winter, I did use the general build plan to help try to push my threshold up and my biking to get a little faster on the bike over the winter. And then in the springtime, loaded up Plan Builder with Ironman Kona as the A race. I had a couple other endurance events through the summer that I used for C races and just let it train through. And really liked the adaptive training when I was doing the sweet spot stuff. It really changed and really pushed. And then the general build plan, when you push that it was a an easy type ride or moderate on a pretty hard ride, it definitely bumped and challenged you. There was a few rides that I was a little skeptical about, but I was able to push through them, and also use a lot of the group workouts where I have some friends that were willing to join me on some of my harder rides and rides that we're hurting a little bit, but they're hurting there on the screen. So it helps make it a little easier, and they were willing to do it. So I used the benefit of friends and really took advantage of the group workout feature.
The high volume one and the adaptive training one. I really like the adaptive training because then you can just do the workouts and then it makes the adjustments for you, which is nice. You don't have to worry about, I had a kind of a clunker day today. What do I do with the next workout? It automatically will adjust the next workout if you need to. And if you did really well, then it'll adjust it accordingly that way too. So I really enjoyed that part of it. And then the not having to do a RAM test anymore is really nice too. The FTP. I hate RAM tests. I try to avoid them at all costs. So to see that, I was like, I'll definitely take that to never have to do a test again. And then, and same thing with the run, it gives you just the run workouts, but I like the mix of how they approach the different training blocks and the way they fit in the brick workouts versus the speed workouts, and same thing in the pool, just the consistency of the workouts, and you can see the progress over time of how much they're helping with the balance of everything. FTP, it's 324 right now. And I guess my watts per kilogram, I want to say it was like 4.3 maybe. I'm not sure of that totally, but I know the FTP was 324.
So I used TrainerRoad, the plan builder, and I tweaked it a little with the swim and the run, but I used all the bike workouts, and definitely made me stronger on the bike. So it was a great plan.
In all the years of trying to get ready, I always rode outdoors because I didn't know about indoor riding. And my coach is actually from the East Coast. He's like, well, since you ride outdoors all the time, I'm like, well, what other choice do I have? And he actually was like, well, it's really efficient to ride indoors. And so he got me kind of set up on Trainer, like hearing about TrainerRoad and then using it finally when I getting geared up to qualify, started doing my shorter rides indoors, and then getting ready for Kona, I started doing my long rides indoors because just the efficiency and being able to focus and not worry about getting squished by a car. Or where I live is really hilly, so I couldn't ever figure out, I'm like, well, if I'm supposed to hold 70% and I'm going uphill, then half the ride's downhill. How do I hold 70? So it used to just easier. So my rides indoors where I'm at sweet spot or whatever I'm supposed to be doing for 3, 4, 5 hours, I'm getting every minute in that I need to get in. That made a big difference getting ready, at least for Coeur d'Alene, and hopefully a big difference now. But long rides indoors are brutal. But I didn't have to think about where to go, all the things that you have to think about. Nutrition's right there, doesn't get hot in the, sitting on my bike. So it's efficient and, a good way to get ready.
I've been using Plan Builder basically since it came out. Got into the beta on adaptive training last year. Used that to lead into my qualifying at Wisconsin. And then been using again this year, doing the full distance Ironman plan, trying to do what works out in terms of time wise. I use some of the medium volume, some of the high volume, basically use it year round. Using TrainerRoad basically lets me train year round. I've got 2 young kids. I know you can kind of relate to that. So it helps provide motivation for me to get on the bike in the morning. While they're still asleep. In terms of progression, where I'm seeing a lot of progress has been, the power that I can sustain for 4, 5, 6 hours. In 2017, I did my first Ironman, and that was like 160, 170 watts. This weekend, I'll be trying to aim for about 200. So that really long kind of upper zone 2 power is just creeps up. Then AI FTP, the start of the specialty phase. I think it was 286, 283, somewhere in that range. Everyone was skeptical about AI FTP, so I checked and saw the result. And I'm going to do the RAM test anyway. It came out within 2 watts for that first one, and I think that was 283. So trusted it the second time around. It bumped me up a couple of watts.
What will your pacing strategy be for race day?
So for the swim, it's just trying to stay comfortable out there. I have a little anxiety with the salt water in the ocean. Today, I swam a little this morning. It was a little choppy. So just trying to stay relaxed and keep moving forward. I know I can swim the distance. I did that on Sunday. So I know the distance. I'm capable of doing that. It's just a matter of just staying relaxed, stay on the stroke, breathe, and make sure I'm getting air. Even if my stroke is a little bit off, make sure I'm getting clean air and not take on any water. Then take my time in T1, make sure I've got everything on, make sure I've got a little bit of sunscreen on. And then the pacing on the bike is when the winds are favorable behind you and I can go fast. And then when the winds are not, if it means going slow, just go slow and don't try to over push on some of the climb when you're going into the wind, but just allow myself when it's flat or when it's on a downhill to hold it.
Swim is pretty much going to try and get on someone's feet who's a little faster than me and just hang on to anybody I can throughout the swim. And then on the bike, I'd like to hold, they usually say traditionally 80% of your FTP. I would like to start out a little bit lower than that, which 80% would be around 260 watts. But I kind of thinking if I target 245, 250 on the way out and just keep myself very conservative before we get to the climb to Javi. And then on the way back, hopefully be able to hold that or bump it up and have maybe a normalized power of maybe 260. Trying to do a normalized power in that range, but my average wattage, which I look at also a little bit lower. Just try and be conservative because I know you never know what the wind's going to be like going up to Javi. And then on the way back, you can be okay, or you can have just a block headwind the whole way back kind of thing because the way the wind shifts. And I don't really want to blow up. Like I have before. I'd like to hold 730s, but again, that's in an ideal race, hopefully. But I think I can reasonably do maybe 3.5 hours. So I'm kind of hoping between 315 and 330 if I can do everything else and not stay on top of my hydration and sodium intake because I have a crazy high sweat rate. So that's always been a challenge here.
For the swim, I think it depends on how fast the pack goes. I like clear water, so I don't want to be beaten up. Either I go a little bit further out and swim my own pace, or I try to find quick feet. And then I think after the turnaround is then I can increase a little bit my pace coming back into transition. On the bike, I have to study the winds actually. So based on my start time and when the trade winds are changing. So that's my afternoon exercise for later today to really get it nailed down. Do I have to go out a little harder to avoid the winds, or is it just the wind is what it is? So based on that, I will put my strategy together. On the run, I have a dream pace, of course, but it really depends on the temperature, right? And how I can hold it together. So the good thing is I'm very well prepared for the heat. So I do well in the heat. And so maybe I can even push it a little harder than once I come out of the energy lap and take it home. That's the plan.
So my pacing strategy for the swim, I'm a decent swimmer. Usually just going relaxed. So I'm going to try to stay out of the melee of bodies and swim as strong as I can if my heart rate goes up in the swim, I'm toast. I just panic. So just a nice, strong, solid swim, hopefully sighting a little bit better than I did on my practice swim where I went all over the place. And then my pacing on the bike, I'm going to be holding between 65, 70 FTP. And my coach has given me the go ahead. If I do feel good, I can kind of stick to the top range of that. In past, somehow my legs haven't always been there on race day. So, a week out from race day, 65 to 70 feels so easy. I'm like, this will be great. And then the day of the race, I'm like, 63 starts to feel like, what's wrong? So hopefully I'll find my legs and stay closer to that 70%, which would be higher than I've raced before. And then my pacing for the run, I run with power, would be about 70% too on the run. But the run for me is, if I get off and I feel good, and when I say feel good, I feel like I've dialed in my nutrition. I'm a runner by training. That's what I did. It's my back, just old people things. Like sometimes I get off and it's like tight and down into the low back. And I don't know I can't figure out what it is and why it appears sometime and not others. So if all things go well, I will be holding 70% FTP on that run. That's a dream. It's never happened. So we'll see. It's right around 9-minute miles, which would put me right just under, right under that 4-hour mark, which my standalone marathon, I should be able to run well below 4 hours, but that's just never happened. So we'll see. Usually I start out way too fast. I have to hold myself back, but I get off that bike and I'm flying for the first 2 miles and then like, okay, steady. And then hopefully if the back is good, I can just stick between 9 and 10-minute miles. I'd be thrilled. But I've heard that Queen K when you're out there is brutal and boring and sad.
Swim's just going to be go out and go easy. Make it through. I'm an adult onset swimmer. So the ability to go hard for an hour is still not quite there. So I'm hoping to be somewhere about an hour 10, and just even pace it. If I can find some feet to draft off of, great. Not on the bike. I think I mentioned earlier, going to aim for about 200 watts normalized. Went and rode some of the course this morning, and there's a lot of rolling up and down. But all the down you're pedaling through, and you can kind of keep even power through the whole bit of it. It seems like. So try and keep, like I said, normalized about 200 or less. Save as much of it as I can for the run. And then running, if I can come in with a 3:30 to 3:40 marathon, I'll be ecstatic. But if it's 3:45, I'm not going to be bummed out. Again, it's just even as you can be. Come out running 8 minutes per mile, and just hold on to that. Wait until we come out of the energy lab before I feel like I've got anything left to try and pick it up if there's anything left.
What is your race day nutrition strategy?
I will pause at an aid station or two to make sure I'm getting in the extra water. I anticipate probably taking in 9 to 10 bottles total between the 6 or so that I have for nutrition, and probably at least 3 to 4 more bottles I expect on the bike. I am a heavy sweater. I know that. So I plan on taking, and my bottles will have about 80 to 90 grams of carbs per, but I plan on taking a bunch of extra water to stay hydrated. And then on the run, probably walk a number of the aid stations, depending on, how I'm feeling, and just try to keep the heart rate under control, not worry about the pace as much, because I'm here really just to finish. I'm not here to set a PR. I'm just here to finish and just be happy and just enjoy the day, especially on the run.
For the bike, I actually adapted to Gatorade so that I don't have to carry too many bottles. I can rely completely on the aid stations. And on the run, I use UCAN, and there's also the pouches, and then what's on course. Yeah.
So I race using UCAN Super Starch, which I believe you guys have talked about on the podcast. It's like a slow burning cornstarch. I've had good luck with it. I don't get any stomach upset, and it's like you don't need as much of it to get the fuel you need. But I actually back that up with Infinite, which is a custom. I think you go on their site and make your own custom blend of carbohydrates to electrolytes and protein, and it's pretty high carb, my mix, but it's like a lemony flavor that tastes better than UTAN. Doesn't taste good. So I have 2 bottles of that. So it's kind of a traditional carbohydrate plus the super starch carbohydrate, and then a few solid things just because you get hungry with only liquids. And that's what I did in Coeur d'Alene. So hopefully it will work here too.
On the bike, I use a homebrew mix of table sugar and maltodextrin. I'm going to carry about 500 grams with me on the bike to start with. There's some electrolyte tabs in there. I think they're non-fizzy tabs. Sorry, not none. Hammer fizz tabs. They come in a little tube. About 3 of those an hour, about 100 grams an hour. Typically, I want some kind of solid food on the bike at some point. So I'll grab Thick Newtons or one of these new energy bars that they've got. They gave us some in the race packet. So they had one today. It was pretty tasty. So around the turnaround, around halfway, I'll get something solid just to chew on more than anything else.
What equipment will you be using on race day?
Basic swim skin. I have a TrainerRoad swim skin, a full sleeve swim skin, and then I'll have a tri suit from DeSoto, and then I have a Boardman Air TT bike with QXL rings and a Quark power meter. I have some Envy aero bars, and I have some tri-rig arm pads and stuff that I'm fairly comfortable. I've had over the last couple of years, just not quite, a little older, can't quite get as low. So I've had to come up a little bit on the front end, but I feel comfortable. And right now it's a little bit more about comfort. And then on the run, I'll be wearing, I wanted to wear the Alpha Fly 2s, but they were giving me problems in some of my test runs here over the last couple of weeks. So I'm just going to stick with the Nike Next Percents on the run.
I have a Roka swim skin that I'll be using. The bike, I have a Specialized Shiv, and I just recently got the Tri-Rig full scoops that have the back on them, which are super comfortable. It's nice to be able to just lay in those because they're much longer. So you have a lot more support under your forearms. And it's a lot more comfortable, especially with having my aero bars tilted up just a little bit. I'm not full like a lot of them do, but with a little bit of an angle to them, it's nice. You can settle into them a little bit better. I have a Rudy Project helmet with the visor already attached on it. And then for the run, I'm running in the Endorphin, the Saucony Endorphins, the Pro 3 that just came out.
So I have a Blue 70 swim skin, and I ride Canyon Speed Max. And for the run, I have Nike's Next Percent 2. I switched to tubeless. Actually, I did that earlier in the year, so now I'm confident with it. So yeah, hopefully no issues with that. There are a lot of flat tires around here during training, so that may pay off to my favor. And I got new arm pads, really big ones that are nice, holding the bike steady. But other than that, everything is, pretty much how I have it for about a year or so.
So swim, I will have a speed suit. I think a tier speed suit, which I've never worn one before. I've usually had a wetsuit, which I love my wetsuit. So that will be interesting. On the bike, I have a Cervelo P3 with the race wheels I have are the Princeton Carbon Works. And they're like they say that they're designed to be as aero as a deeper rim wheel that aren't allowed here. The disc wheels aren't allowed here. They have these weird little dimples. I've never raced on them before, so we'll see. And then I have an aero helmet, the debate between a road aero or a full aero helmet. I went with full aero helmet, which is the Giro Arrowhead, I think, with the glasses and everything. And so that I never raced like with the full aero getup until Coeur d'Alene for various reasons. My race wheels broke one year, and then I don't know. So in Coeur d'Alene, I had that all, and I had the best bike I've ever had. I took like 20 minutes off my best bike split, and I soft pedaled that bike because of the heat. So I was excited. I'm excited to race fully aero again. I'm a true believer now. On the run, I have shoes that I've never used before in a race. I have the Nike Vaporflies, which I'm excited to. I love them. I've been training in them a little bit. At Coeur d'Alene, I saw everybody had these funky looking shoes, and I couldn't figure out what they were, and then realized that they were that carbon plate, that Kipchoge wore for his marathon record. So I've loved them in training. I'm excited to race in them. They have a really good little kick. Even if you're running slow and laborious, they feel like they want to turn your foot over a little faster. So hopefully that will help.
Swimming, I'll be swimming tri-kit with a Nextera swim skin. On the bike, I'm still using my trusty 2012 E2C Zip 808s I'm borrowing from a friend. I have 404s and a race set up with a disc, but I didn't have any deeper rem wheels. So I'm borrowing a set of wheels, GT 5000s and 23s on the bike. And then I'm running the Saucony Endorphin Pros.
That's it for this special episode of the Ask a Cycling Coach podcast. If you're listening to this now, head over to our YouTube channel and check out the new Cycling Science Explained video on cryotherapy, where we go into all the details of the science on whether this cold therapy approach actually makes you recover faster, gain more EPO even. It's some crazy stuff. So we went into the science so you don't have to. So go check that out and check out the Science of Getting Faster podcast, where we went into nitrate supplementation and if it indeed is a special thing that will give you all the marginal gains that you need, as many people tout it. So check those things out on our YouTube channel or whatever podcast app you use, and rate this podcast, share it with your friends. Go to trainerroad.com and sign up if you want to become a faster cyclist, just like these athletes we've heard from today. And finally, if you want to support these athletes, go over to Ironman's Facebook page and you can watch the race live. It's happening on Thursday and Saturday this year, split up into different groups, and you can use the Ironman app to type in their names and track them and see how they do as well. I hope we can all support them, and we support all of you listening to this, whether you are racing or not this weekend. Keep on training, get faster, and use TrainerRoad to make it happen. Talk to you soon.